Hi everyone, it's Barry here from Mitosu Crafts. Thank you for joining me today and thank you for joining me for this week's Funfold video tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can make this lovely little gift box right here. So I've decorated this in Christmas papers, but it can be decorated in any papers you want. So I'm going to be showing you how you can make this lid and the box. And it is designed so you can fit some lovely chocolates in it. So rather than using the generic tubs of chocolates which you've got, you can make your own box and give it as a gift to somebody. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. I'll go through what you will need, so the cardstock, your designer series paper and the measurements, and yeah, so I hope you enjoy what I've got in store for you today. So sit back, relax and enjoy it as I show you how to make this lovely treat box. So here it is again. This is the box which I'm going to be showing you how to make. So yeah, it looks quite complicated. There's a few techniques which you're going to need to and persevere. There's a few, obviously, scoring which you're going to need to do, but it is relatively quite straightforward. So I'm going to go through the cardstock which you need and other materials. So what you're going to need is, I've used some cherry cobbler not designer series paper, some cardstock here, and you are going to need to first of all start off with 2 pieces measuring 8¼ inches by 5 inches. You'll need 2 of those. You will also need 2 pieces measuring 8⅛ of an inch by 4 inches. So that's for the box lid and the box sides. You will need here 2 pieces measuring 4 5/8 by 4 5/8. This is going to be for the bottom of the box. And we will need some panels on this one here, and these are measuring 3 inches by 1 3/4 inch, and you'll need 8 of those. Okay, but I will go through them as I discuss them, and we need them. But that's what you're going to need. As for some designer series paper, this is a designer series paper which I am using. So let me just get the correct name for you. I've forgotten what it's called already. It is the Sentimental Christmas designer series paper. So I've got this one right here. I've already cut some of them into place, but I'll cut this one on camera for you. But you will need, let's go through the pieces which I'm going to cut. So you will need 8 pieces here measuring 1 1/8 of an inch by 1 3/4 of an inch. And you will need 8 pieces measuring, let's just make sure I've got this correct, 1 inch by 1 5/8 of an inch. Okay, so that's those ones, and I'll go through. Well, these ones will end up being 1½ inches by 2 3/4 inch, but I'll go through that one with you again, and you will need 8 of those. So it's 8 8 8 2 2 2 and 8 of these ones right here. Okay, we're going to start off with the box lid, so I'm going to pop all of these to one side. Another tool which you will need for this, which will make it easier, is some very strong adhesives, or something that I'm going to be using my heat gun for this one here to make sure that the box lid sticks together. But if you haven't got a heat gun, you're just going to need to have something which is a very quick drying glue, so it holds the lid together. Otherwise, if you use a normal Tom glue, you'll be there for it, or you're going to need to have some way of being able to hold it together for a period of time whilst the glue dries up. So a heat gun, the glue dries relatively quickly, so it's easy for you. Alright, so let's first of all, we will start off with our box lid. So our 2 pieces measuring 8¼ by 5. I'm going to grab in my trimmer, and what we want to do is we want to score this along the long edge. So the long edge along the top of the trimmer here, we want to score this at 2 inches, 4, 6, and 8. Then we want to turn it onto the short edge, and we then want to score this at 1 inch, and then 2 3/8 of an inch. just a little side note here, when I rotated it round from my long to my short, that little tab has gone to the bottom here. Just make sure that when you do the scoring on the second piece, you rotate it the same way, so that when we have to glue them together, things will stick together quite nicely. But yes, so that little tab, I just rotated it round this way, so it's down the bottom. Do this, make sure you do it exactly the same on this piece when you come to do it as well. Okay, so let's recap on that. 2, 4, 6 and 8. Rotate onto the short edge, and then 1, and then 2 3/8 of an inch. Okay, what we want to do now is we want to grab ourselves a pencil and a ruler, because we now need to put some diagonal score lines in this. So the easiest way of doing this, I found, was putting a pencil in and marking with some reference lines. So we need to basically score from this corner down to that corner of the score line, this one to this one, this one to this one, this one to this one, and then from on the opposite sides, from that one to that one, that one to that one, that one to that one, and that one to that one. So it's quite difficult to line this up. So what I found is if you put your ruler and the corner up here, intersect it where you want it to go down to, and then pop a pencil line down here. Do it exactly the same with this one. These will get folded inside the box, so don't worry. Do another one, this one here, and this one. So you can see you've got some pencil lines here, 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 and here. Then do exactly the same the opposite side. And I didn't need to do that last one because it's easy. I can line that one up in the trimmer quite nicely. So once I've gone ahead and done that, I'm going to bring my trimmer in. And what I want to basically do is I want to line the corner up here with this pencil line in the trimmer. Line up and line up. So that's given me my reference point down here. Bring in my scoring blade and then score to that corner, and you would always get, you've got it lined up. So do the same again, line that corner up with this pencil line I've got down here. And then score, and then do exactly the same on all of those. So once you've gone ahead and you've done those 4 score lines, just do it exactly the same the opposite side. Okay, so you've now got that with your crosses in there. Then what we want to do is we then want to pop this into the score, and we want to then do a straight line from this point to the top. So these are easy. You just want to score this at 1 inch. And then you then want to score this at 3 inches. Five inches. And then 7 inches. And that there is your first part done. So go ahead and repeat all of that for the second piece. Once you've done that, I will then go through the design series paper. Okay, so now we've got our two pieces ready right here. So what I would suggest we do now is we fold and burnish these, and then we go ahead and then stick the design series paper on. So the easiest thing to do first is fold and burnish all of your straight score lines. Okay, so that's that. And then with the diagonal ones, whilst it's all going this way at the moment, we then want to then fold in on itself. And then fold over. So this is when it starts to become a little bit more complicated. So we're folding over just gently. And then the next one. Okay, so that's all of those ones, like that. And then with the straight ones, you then just want to then fold up on itself. So where we've been going over and over, we're doing the same thing, but going over, so it kind of creates like this little triangle part going on here. So we've gone that way, and then this way here. Okay, so that's your piece like that. Do exactly the same on this one. Okay, so we've now got those two pieces right here. What we're going to need to do is we're going to need to do some cutting here. I'm just going to basically just take away this little corner down the bottom, like that. And then I'm going to then just notch this one, so come in there, so only up to that first score line. Okay, and then do the same on this one right here. And that's that part. Okay, so next part is a design series paper here. So you've got your 8 pieces, which measured the let's just get this correct for you, 1 1/8 of an inch by 1 3/4 of an inch. They will fit perfectly on these panels right here. So you can go ahead and you can go and stick all of those down if you want to right now. And then we'll move on to the triangular parts. Okay, so now we've got those parts done right there, we can now do the smaller parts. So these are all the ones which measured 1 inch by 1 5/8 of an inch. What we want to do first is move it all to one side, grab your pencil and your ruler again. And what we're going to want to do is just grab these, and you're going to want to mark these in. You're going to put a centre mark in them. So half of 1 5/8 is 13/16. So if you're unsure on 13/16, basically you just want to count. A 16th is every little digit on your ruler. So an 1/8 is every second. So 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4, 5, 6, 7/8 is every second. 16th is every one. So if you want 13, just want to count 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and that would be your 13/16. Okay, so I'm just going to then pop this in here, and just on all of these, just pop a pencil mark at where 13/16 is. Okay, and then once you've done that on all of them, then you want to grab your snips. Got my little charms in the way, so right, there we go. And then cut from that centre mark which you've just done down to the corner, and the same on this side, and then up. Okay, and that's the part which you want to do. So you want to do like on all 8 pieces. Okay, so now you've got those parts right there. You can then go ahead and you can then stick these to these triangular parts as well. Just trying to make sure that they fit as best as possible and they all look the same, so try and get them evenly across that. It's also at this point where I've turned on my heat tool, my heat gun, my glue gun even, so the glue can start getting nice and warm. So I've popped this ready, so that's going to be when I come to glue it in a moment, that will be a nice temperature. So yeah, just go ahead and stick all of those together, and then we'll go on to the next part. So that's all of the design series paper stuck onto that. Now we need to stick these two together. So I'm going to pop some glue on this tab here, and we're going to stick to the back side, so that's the inside of the box, and we're going to create one large piece now. And then we can then turn this over, and then we can then just need to pop some glue on this other tab here, and then just fold over that piece to create yourself one large piece, like so. What we want to do now is we also just want to just stick our tabs in, so you could have done this actually a bit earlier on. So some glue on these tabs. And then just stick those inside. All these are going to do for your box lid is just give it a little bit more thickness, so you get a nice finish. Your lid isn't too tight. So I've just literally just gone through, just stuck all of those down. Okay. And that there is your nearly completed box lid. This is the most complicated part of this box. The base itself is very, very straightforward. So just make sure that they're all nice and stuck. Okay, so now to the fiddly part. This may take you a few attempts to try and get this into position. I know it did me the first time I did it, and it probably will right now, but just work with it. So basically you kind of want to pinch, you want everything to kind of like squeeze in, so you're kind of wanting to pinch in those flat parts, going around, and then you'll get one corner which is just going to be a right nuisance, which thinks if it's not working, but it will. Just persevere with it. And there you go. it's almost like there'll be one side which wants to go the opposite way that you want it to go. You just need to just work with it and it will be fine. Okay, so you can see now we've got that, so we want to try and get that as close to center as you possibly can, like that. This is where your heat tool comes, your heat gun comes in, the glue gun. Just need to just take that blobby part off right there, push that back in. Now you've got the shape, it's easy to go in, so you can quite easily let go of it and then push it back in and it will be fine for you. Okay, kind of get it into position where you want it to be as best as possible. Grab your heat tool or your heat glue gun and pop yourself a dollop of glue on top, and you're just going to have to sit here for a couple of minutes just to make sure that this now just sets up and doesn't move too much. Okay, so I'm just going to sit here and blow on this a little bit whilst, and I'll fast forward this part. Okay. So you can see that's just set enough now that I can let go of it. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to do the same on the inside, so just give it a dollop of glue on the inside just to secure it in there. That there is not as important to hold on to it, because obviously you can just let that do what it is. So just pop that to one side now just to dry, and we're all good. Okay, so we're now onto the box base. So for the box base, you're going to want to bring in your trim, and you're going to want to bring in the two smaller pieces. So these were the 8 1/8 of an inch by 4 inches, and we want to score this on the long edge. So these are, some of these measurements will be in 1/16 of an inch because we needed to make it slightly smaller for the box lid so that we get a good fit. So the first one is 1 15/16. So remember, if you're counting 16ths, you want to count every line on the inches. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15, or to make that easier for you, it'll be 1 notch down from the 2 inches. So that's 1 15/16. Score that one there. The next one will be 3 7/8. And the next one will be 5 13/16. So basically, if you take it to 5 7/8 and then come down one line, that will be enough for you. And then we have got 7 3/4. Turn it round onto the short edge, and we want to then score this at 3/4 of an inch. Repeat those steps for the second piece. And just like I did for the box lid, when I rotated it round to make the tab, I made sure on both pieces I rotated it the same way, so then they can then get buttered up against each other quite nicely here. So that's that one. We can go ahead and we can fold and burnish all of these. And then you can then cut up. So we want to then cut up this one here, create ourselves a little tab, and then just create ourselves some tiny tabs along the bottom, like this. Okay, repeat that on this one right here. And then, same as we did with the lid, we would just stick these together. Like that, to create one large piece. And then we will then fold it over and then stick that together as well. So that's your box done right now. We're going to go on to just let that dry out for a moment. We're going to go on and prepare the base of this box, which is these ones right here. So you've got, these were your 4 5/8 by 4 5/8, and what we want to do is we want to pop some pencil lines at 1 3/8 on each side. So 1 3/8, pop a pencil line, and then 1 3/8, and then do that on all 4 sides. Okay, so you've marked that at 1 3/8 of an inch, 1 3/8, 1 3/8, 1 3/8 all the way around. This is just guide, and then I'm just going to draw a pencil line on this. This is going to give me my cutting line now. You don't have to draw these pencil lines, but it's just I find it easier to give me a guide for cutting. And then what we can do is we can then just cut a nice straight line along those. Okay, and that's that part there. Go ahead and do exactly the same for the second piece. So that's those 2 pieces there. These will be what help pop the base in and help keep the shape, but we'll pop those in later on. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to take our panels which we made earlier on and this piece of designer series paper. So this here was measuring at 2 3/4 of an inch, and then we want to then cut these into 8 pieces, now measuring 1 1/2 inches. And then what we want to do is we then want to then stick these onto these little layers right here. Again, these extra little layers just help make the lid and the box fit nicely. So they just pad the box out a little bit. So just go ahead and then stick these on. And then once you've done that, probably guessed it, they can then get stuck to the sides of that box. Okay, and now stick those to these panels right here like that. Okay, so now that that's all stuck on and all dry, that's now giving it a nice bit of weight to that as well. It's giving it a bit more stability, so that putting that double layer on that obviously helps strengthen the box, but also will help with the lid fitting. So it's just time for these parts. Basically, all these do is you want to kind of just slot them in, and that will then help keep the shape of it. So you can see what I've just done there. So obviously, but before we do that, we want to then pop ourselves some glue. Just go around, pop some glue on those tabs like that, and then slot that in. It will eventually find its space, and and then kind of just manipulate it and then just hold that in place. And if you wanted to, you could decorate the inside of the box if you really wanted to as well. You could just cut these layers out exactly the same as, say, the big piece, and then stick some on the inside. You could do another piece the same size designer series pattern paper on the bottom as well, just to decorate the inside there if you wanted to. That's that. So there we go. That's our box constructed there. We now just need to just do this for the other second piece. So some glue on the outside of these tabs. Grab your second piece, and this will just finish this off down at the bottom, down here, like this. Okay, it's not flush, but it just tidies it up a little bit. Just glue that down. Okay, and now is the moment of truth. We bring in our lid, and that fits on absolutely perfectly. Just look at that. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Really, really good. Okay, so we now just need to finish this top part off. So I've got these lovely, very simple, the Joyful Images ephemera pack. So you've got these, and now the decision is, what do I want to use? So we've got some things here. I quite liked that little snowy village on the top right there. We've got ourselves a little Christmas wreath. Well, that kind of might work quite nicely because it's in keeping with the colour scheme going on here. You could always have a tree if you want to on top, just to decorate this. We've got ourselves like a little hot chocolate mug going on right there. And what I used on the original one is the poinsettia, which is this one right here. So these are ephemera packs. They just pop out and go on like that. And you know what? I actually quite like that poinsettia as well. I think that works quite nicely on the top. So I'm going to use this second poinsettia. There's other little bits on here if you wanted to. We could use the... Oh, just got myself a little bit tight. Caught up there. Maybe some holly if we wanted to add a little bit of holly in there, but I don't think we need it, if I'm honest with you. I think we are perfectly good just on its own. So what you could do on this, just to give that a little bit more stability, I've just grabbed one of our old retired punches, and with some of your offcuts which you've got, you may just want to just cut yourself out a circle, or die cut yourself out a circle, or cut yourself a little square. Just something that we can just do this, just to give that a little bit more solid to sit onto. And as I've got my my hot glue still here, I'm going to pop myself another blob of glue on that. And I will then just stick that to the top of that. There, like that. If you wanted to pop a little sentiment across the top of that, you can do if you wanted to. But I think, oh God, there's a problem when you're using hot glue. And that's that. Okay, so what we can do now is buy yourself a tub of chocolates. Well, actually, what I did on these ones is that instead of buying a tub of chocolates, you can buy the refill packs of them, so it's a little bit cheaper. So, and rather than buying a plastic tub, make your own tub for them. And there we have our very own. Ooh, it's a little bit too big, I might have to eat some. There we go, that fits in there now. And that pretty much took an entire bag of those chocolates. I think it left me about 4, which I couldn't fit into there conveniently. And there we have it. What do you think? I'm really happy with that. I think that's really, really pretty. I love the way the designer series paper on this. I just love this pattern on the top. Just it's quite it is quite straightforward. I've done this now 3 times. I've made this box, and it gets easier once you've worked out that folding on this. It does get easier every time you do it. But there we have it. That there is my little Christmas chocolate box for you. I hope you've enjoyed watching me do that, and you have felt inspired to do this yourself. So do check out down below any links as well which we have got, measurements and so on. So check everything out. Information can be found down below in the description. So there we have it. I love it. I'm really, really pleased with that. So, and I hope you are too. Do remember we are independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. So if you would like to shop with us, then you can do it. Just pop the link on the screen right now. So just head over to mitosucrafts.com/shop, and that's where you can order your Stampin' Up! Craft supplies from. So if you live in the UK, France, Germany, Netherlands, Austria, Belgium or Ireland, you can shop with us in those shopping countries. The papers which I've used are last chance products, so at the time of recording they are currently available. So if you are loving these papers, then do check out the online store. Remember, they are called the Sentimental Christmas. Product number 164209 is the product number for those, but they are on last chance, so do head over to and have a little look at the last chance return products, because once they have gone, they have gone. They will sell out, and yeah, they won't be coming back. But there we have it. I hope you want to have a go yourself. Any questions, do please leave some comments down below or let us know, and I will do my best to help you out. But thank you again for watching. We will see you again very, very soon. But take care for now. See you later. Bye.